My friend knew someone who is in Colombia and just sent me a list of links to singers. And when I heard Lepardo's voice, I heard it on a song immediately, but I didn't want to, reach out over email and all that. So I just came to Bogota, and we recorded it in Bogota, and it was just, when people ask me what genre I make, I'm never completely sure what to say, because almost intentionally, the idea of Until the Rhythm Breaks was to try and take everything I love from all over the world, kind of put it into a blender and see what happens. I don't know about you, but I find that trying to summarize music with words is difficult. This album was different. I didn't think I was going to make a third Until the Rhythm Breaks record. The second album was a kind of difficult process, personally. Other albums I've made, I have a clear idea. I almost always start with the title of the album first, and I try and thread themes through the whole album, so I have an idea from the beginning. But this one, I kind of let it tell me where it wanted to go, because I didn't really know until about halfway through that what I was doing was making an album. This time around, it was just little bits of lyrics here and then musical ideas, and then it just seemed to be piecing itself together almost like a jigsaw, and my only job was to go that bit there, that bit there, that bit there. My goal is not to try and say, this thing I went through, poor me. It's not that at all. The interesting thing is that music was a part of the problem. Not music itself, but the music industry and touring for years and years, and the pressure of releasing records. And suddenly you go from making music in your bedroom to people caring about it, which is confusing because it's what you want. It's all you ever dreamed of. And then you arrive and it can feel like a huge amount of expectation from other people and that you put on yourself. I just wanted everything to go away so I could concentrate on trying to get sober. And that is a huge process and a long process. As time went on, music became what it had been right at the beginning, which is a distraction from anxiety. It's the opposite of anxiety. It's healing. The only tool you need to make music is yourself. And actually, it turned out for me that drugs and alcohol was getting away from myself. So it's actually, sobriety has meant that I make more music than ever, is my point. It's the craziest collaboration story that's ever happened to me, and there's been a few. I was making a song, which at the time wasn't Red Skies. It had the kind of Latin element in the harmony and the melodies. My friend knew someone who is in Colombia and just sent me a list of links to singers. And when I heard Lepardo's voice, I heard it on a song immediately. But I didn't want to, reach out over email and all that. So I just came to Bogota, and we recorded it in Bogota. And it was and I ended up staying for longer because I was working with rappers and then other people. And it was just so beautiful. Like, you were so hospitable. And like it, every day there was just something happening, and it was amazing. And I loved it. Chorus of that song sums up what I was kind of the message of the whole record. It's more like, okay, I got sober, now what? You know, everything's a circle if you just lean into the turn. It's kind of a reminder to myself. There's a plan, it's none of my business. Just lean into it. So I think that was an important thing. That was just a cool way for me to go, this is where I'm at, basically. I can't believe I still get to do this. I often say to the people who I work with and who are around me, like, tell me I can't do it. Because that makes me get up and say, I'll show you. I look forward to the idea of something being difficult. I love that. If it seems like I've already done it, I know how to do it, it loses my attention. Bit of self-care, forgiveness that starts with to yourself. You are only where you're at today. That's it. Remember that all of it's a fucking miracle, you know? Absolutely terrifying. I was always so anxious, you know, so standing in front of an audience singing was like, you know, it's a funny, crazy thing about musicians is that they're often quite anxious people, and yet they have a job where they choose to stand in front of people and go, hey, judge me. Performing live was always a complicated thing for me. And I tried to cancel the South by show so many times. And luckily, I have people around me that knew that all my reasons were complete bullshit. And all I was doing was just feeling anxiety and trying to hide. This obsession I always used to have with making it perfect was A, not what the audience ever wanted, and B, is impossible. It's just like, you just got to try and do as best as you can, and that's it. I wasn't sure about the idea of touring because obviously in the past it's what caused me some issues. But after doing that show, I'm so excited to tour, and I want to come everywhere. I'd love to do a show in Colombia, but I don't know, and I really like not knowing. Obviously I want this album to be heard by as many people as possible. I'm really proud of it, so we'll see.